That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's patron and the chairman and managing director of the Radiant Group of Companies. Let's hear it for Colonel David Devasahayam as he takes the stage. Big round of applause, Colonel. Over to you.
Good morning, dear friends. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you all to the third edition of the Radiant Wellness Conclave, which is now being held in this September 2017. And I would like to thank you for having taken the time and having had the intention of coming down and spending this full day event with us. So, historically looking back, as our businesses grew a little profitable and the Radiant Foundation was set up, we realized that in the corporate social responsibility initiatives, it was easier to start something in the rural and semi-rural sectors. And we got into destitute management and education of the underprivileged. But we also wanted to do something strong, something meaningful within the city limits. So we found that it was fairly difficult. I mean, we really couldn't come across anything that was really meaningful. So at that time, my lovely wife, Dr. Renuka, she had set up the Radiant Wellness Center. She's a wellness expert, and she's deeply into preventive health care. So she had set up the Radiant Wellness Center, and she was meeting all segments of the urban population. So she was really disturbed, and that the kind of problems that existed, the early onset of non-communicable diseases, marital issues that were going on, stress-related problems, the work-life balance. There were many areas that she was facing every day at her work spot. So she came to me and she said that we need to do something about it. We have to create awareness. There has to be a platform. And as usual, as all good husbands, I was very reluctant. But she's a Taurian, so she was very stubborn, and she literally bulldozed away. And sure enough, we had the first platform, the Radiant Wellness Conclave, which was established in 2015. And we had a very good response. But then in 2015, after the conclave was over, we got a good review, a good response to that. But we realized that we had some more work to do. It was a work in progress. The essence was that, we had restricted ourselves to the medical aspects mainly, or some social aspects like work-life balance, etc. But we had to look at wellness in a more holistic manner. There were so many dimensions of wellness that we needed to address. Secondly, at the end of the conclave, we also realized, that in Chennai of the 70s and 80s, ours was a city full of intellectual discourse. There used to be debates, discussions. There's a lot of intellectual food available. But that had somehow now taken a backseat to other forms of entertainment. So we began to wonder as to whether this platform could also serve as a source of that kind of intellectual discussion and debate on issues connected with holistic wellness. And at that time when we started seeing, particularly when we saw the television channels, the 9 o'clock debates and all, they're not as good as they used to be. Nowadays, they're more like, one can barely hear what the other person is saying. But at the same time, in social media, and WhatsApp and YouTube particularly, we found a new breed of speakers emerging. Speakers with whom audiences could identify, who are speaking for a short while, but who are very coherent, and their messages were unique. And they were garnering millions of views. So we realized that this is the new type of talking or speaking which is appealing to the body public. And today's keynote speaker, Dr. Shashi Tharoor, is a great example of his talks in Harvard or in Oxford are today the stuff of legends. And in WhatsApp, I think almost everybody has seen them many times. So using these parameters which were then available to us, in 2016, the next Radiant Wellness Conclave was set up. And we set up and we explored the 8 dimensions of wellness. And we found it to be a good format. And we have remained largely loyal to that format, besides adding one more dimension this time, and that is the technological dimension. Technology, as we all know, can be a great enabler, but can also be addictive. It has got its own negative effects as well. So we thought that should also be included in this year's edition. So let's quickly see, or let's quickly revise as to what are the 9 dimensions of wellness that we are going to discuss today. These are the 9 dimensions that you're going to see today. And the format is going to be based on individual speakers. There are going to be some panel discussions of specialists and a couple of in-conversations where people who have achieved a lot in their lives will be spoken to about these aspects of wellness. So now for the audience, it's going to be a full day. So a lot of stamina is required. I mean, how do you benefit from this conclave? Now that's why we kept the time slot for the speakers very less. It's going to be 13 to 14 minutes per individual speaker. So what you have to concentrate are on the takeaways. For example, a good friend of mine, he said, last conclave, when the actor Madhavan was speaking, what I really liked about him was when he said that, drink your food and chew your water. That implies that when you're eating your food, you need to chew on it well till it finally becomes a paste so that when you swallow it, it's easy for digestion. He said that one tip that I received from here, I utilized it in my life, and thereafter I lost a few kilos. I can see my Rotarian friends here. That was Vijay Javeri. So, please focus on the takeaways that you have that can be taken from each of these speakers or from the individual discussions that you see. I'd like to thank our sponsors who have believed in this process. And also, the bigger the dream, the better has to be the team. It's been a great team that we have together. I would like to thank each and every member of the team for having done such a wonderful job. And for us today in the 3rd edition, It is a nostalgic journey. So there's a lot of nostalgia as well. And I would like to therefore take you on a flashback so that you can see some of the highlights of the last two conclaves. Thank you very much.
आज मिल्खा सिंह 87 में जा रहा है ना, मैं चैलेंज करता हूं आप में से कोई मेरे साथ दौड़ के दिखा दे।
The first ever Wellness Icon Award.
But here are people who want to do something, give back to the society from where they have earned all that position and power and status and wealth. That is highly appreciable.
Wellness as a holistic concept is important for us in life, and initiatives of this kind where we get in touch with those aspects of our life which has taken a back seat.
I was very fortunate that my parents, at least my immediate family, didn't make me feel that I have to be a certain way.
You see an actress and then suddenly out of the blue she's come back. She looks like Angelina Jolie. How did her lips start pouting so much?
The Radiant Group is pleased to announce the second Radiant Wellness Conclave, spearheaded by Dr. Renuka David. A conclave that will cater to young India, addressing the secrets of leading a radiant life through the 8 dimensions of wellness.
Just started with losing weight and entered this beautiful world of wellness, where I realized it was not just about weight loss, but it was something beyond my imagination. It felt like Alice in Wonderland.
Very often in our lives, we are caught up in an occupation or we are in a profession which is not entirely of our choice.
Because essentially we've become a country where any kind of idea, any kind of issue is always taken down to the lowest common denominator.
If the roots aren't deep and strong, the trunk is dodgy and wobbly. A hurricane or a cyclone can shake it, sometimes even uproot it.
Your mind gets sated after chewing for 14 to 15 minutes. If you calculate every time you've been to a party, every time you've been to a dinner, you can only eat collectively for 15 minutes.
When you are enjoying what you're doing, then you are most likely to excel.
Living, breathing moments are the real moments of your life. The others are gone, we are not sure about what's going to happen in the future. So we have to maximize the happiness within.
Physical wellness has been a very important component.
You're going to expect to eat a masala dosa 20 years down at 480 bucks. A breakfast is going to cost you not less than $1,000.
Where individual threads are woven together to create something quite beautiful. They can also be woven together to create something that's strong and resilient. We are the threads. Together we can create something that is beautiful.
I stop negative narratives in my head. I challenge them. I ask where they are coming from. Where is the evidence?